Yesterday, all 36 drivers here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway hit the racetrack for a single lap. 9 of them had a great lap, and another 9 did not have a good lap. And those 18 drivers come back again today on the Sunday before the Indianapolis 250 to see who qualifies on the pole and to see who fails to qualify. It's the last 9 in Fast 9 shootouts here from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. We begin by eliminating 3 drivers from competition in the Indianapolis 250, and then we run the fastest 9 drivers again to see who wins the pole for the 12th running of this great race. We're here once again at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. It's day 2 of qualifying for the 12th running of the Indianapolis 250. Hello everybody, this is AG here, and welcome to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway here on Sunday afternoon. It is a cloudy day, which means that this racetrack is going to be faster than what it was yesterday, and that means that the action is going to be even more intense here today on day 2 of qualifying. It's the last 9 and Fast 9 shootouts, and we begin with the last 9 shootout here today at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. 9 drivers looking to avoid elimination from this race. 6 of them will qualify their way in. 3 of them will fail to qualify, as it has been for the past 6 years. And here are those 9 drivers looking to avoid elimination here today. Hierjel Olvera, Gustavo Smanio, Dylan Mathews, Brennan Wilmington, Avery Alford, Brad Stover, Bibi Ruiz, last year's champion of the Indianapolis 250, Audra Baranauskas, and Noah Clifton. And 3 of those drivers will fail to qualify here today, and it's all about this lap in the last 9 shootout to see if they can race their way in or not. Then later on, we got ourselves the Fast 9 shootout, and these 9 drivers will be going for the pole position here for the 12th running of the Indianapolis 250. Nicolas Samudio, Chris Reynolds, Lona, John Andrews, Jeffery Finguy, Max Anderson, Justin Zajdel, Hierjel Alonso, and Zachary Fitzwater. One of those 9 will win the pole. But the big thing is the last 9 shootout, and of course this is the most important part of the day. And of course the pole is very important as well, but getting to just be in the race is very important for these 9 drivers, and 3 of them will not get that opportunity. And as I said, it is a cloudy day. The racetrack is cooler. We don't have as much wind. This racetrack will be faster here today than it was yesterday. So we're really not going to know what the times really are going to look like until we get down into it in this session. But it's going to be very interesting to see how it ends up shaking out here today from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, as it always is. And the last 9 shootout, always a very stressful moment and a nervous moment for the 9 drivers and the owners of the teams who are in this shootout. So let's go ahead and get started. Hierjel Olvera, who was slowest yesterday, going to be the first driver out on the racetrack. Let's see what she does here in her qualifying lap and get the last 9 shootout started here for the 12th running of the Indianapolis 250. And here we go. Ready to start the last 9 shootout here today, leading up to Saturday's Indianapolis 250. At the end of this week, we'll be running that great race. But today, we got to see who's going to make it. Hierjel Olvera looking to avoid elimination. She was the slowest driver yesterday in the single-car runs, driving for BO Racing. As a matter of fact, 2 of the BO Racing cars were the slowest. Gustavo Smanio, who was next in line, was 35th overall yesterday. Got Matt Tuck alongside me here, and Matt, this is going to be a faster track here today. It is a cloudier day, the racetrack is cooler, and that means that the pressure is on for these guys in this last 9 shootout. How much pressure are these guys facing here, knowing that they have to be one of the top 6 guys to make it into the show tomorrow? Or Saturday, I should say.
Yeah, I mean, this is the money session for both the last 9 and Fast 9. I mean, this is your last shot to get into the race, and then we all know, I mean, this is the most prestigious pole you can win here on the channel, so Hierjel Olvera did not have a good run at all yesterday, was the slowest car in the first day of qualifying, but we're going to see the track temps have changed a lot here, and this looks kind of quick so far for Olvera.
And, you know, we're going to be quicker all across the board today compared to yesterday because of the cooler temperatures, but still, turn number 4 right there was slower than some guys yesterday, so we'll see how that ends up translating as the shootout goes along. But Hierjel Olvera going to set the benchmark in the last 9 shootout, and it's a 40.584, and that's faster than any time we had yesterday, but that might not necessarily be a fast time today. We'll see as we move on. Hierjel Olvera is on the board in the last 9 shootout here in the Indy 250. Next in line, Gustavo Smanio, teammate to Hierjel Alonso at BO Racing. And the good thing for these teams, BO Racing and Evans Ross Racing, who have multiple drivers in this last 9 shootout, is that 6 of these 9 advance on. So there isn't a one makes it, one doesn't make it scenario that's guaranteed. It is very much possible that both of the drivers on both teams could make it in. But it's also possible that both drivers on either team could miss out, and we'll see if that ends up being the case. Hierjel Alonso set the first time, 40.584, and keep in mind, the racetrack is cooler and the racetrack is faster here today, and I think that's going to make the last 9 and the fast 9 much more interesting than yesterday because these guys are going to be going upwards of 226, 227 into the corners at some points on the racetrack. See what Smanio can do, looking to make his first career start on the channel on Saturday. And a little bit slower there than Hierjel Alonso through turn number 1. But as we saw yesterday, Matt, turns 3 and 4 was the place to gain the speed. And we'll see if that ends up being the case here today as well.
Yeah, if you're going to make your time up, you do have to make it down here on this end of the racetrack in 3 and 4, 225, 226. Nobody, not ticking over 226 into turn 3 so far. That looks a little bit cleaner there. 219 up heading into turn 4. Smanio looking to make his first ever start on the channel, and we're going to find out if he's going to have a shot to as he comes across the start-finish line.
It's always good to beat the driver that went out before you, but he's not going to do it. That's a 5.99. Smanio is going to go the 29th overall at this moment. Keep in mind, 34th, 35th, and 36th will not qualify, and he is currently slowest of the 2 drivers so far here in the last 9 shootout. Third driver in line, it's Dylan Mathews in the number 39 for Evans Ross Racing. One of 3 winners this season who is in this last 9 shootout. Dylan Mathews, her teammate Avery Alford, and Bibi Ruiz, who have all won races this season, all in this last 9 shootout. And not a good lap for Dylan Mathews at all yesterday. And it's a bit of a tough one for someone who has been in this race before. She finished 18th last year in her first start in this race. We'll see if she can have an opportunity at making it in. Fastest time so far is the 40.584 set by Hierjel Alonso. We'll see if Dylan Mathews can have a faster time. If she ends up being the fastest of the 3, there's a good chance that she will make it into the show. But we'll see if that ends up being the case here for the Evans Ross Racing number 39.
Yeah, Evans Ross Racing did not have a good day yesterday here at the Speedway. They're looking to turn it around here today. And I mean, hey, you get your job done today here and get yourself into the show. Who knows what can happen next week, but down the back straightaway goes Dylan Mathews in the 39, 225, 226, 227. This might be quick.
That's some good speed, though. She did have to drop it off in the turn number 3. It was too much speed going into the corner. And too much speed in turn 4 as well, and that was a lot slower than what we saw out of Olvera or Smanio, so we'll see if Mathews has enough speed across the line. Gonna go to a 40.633.
Oh, no.
She carried too much speed into the corner, had to check out too much, and now she's the slowest of the 3 drivers so far in this last 9 shootout. Here's our 4th driver in line, Brennan Wilmington in the number 98 for NS Racing, and this 98 machine failed to qualify last year as well when Jay Knapp was behind the wheel, so this car has not been a good omen past couple of years here. But we'll see if Brennan Wilmington can find his way in the show. All he's got to do is beat the 40.584. So there's a time set where if you beat it, you are in the show. And it's looking pretty good for Hierjel Alonso, though we still have ourselves 6 drivers left who can all go faster than that 40.584. But we'll see how it goes for Brennan Wilmington here in NS Racing, and this is a powerhouse team over in the Wall Walk Cup Series. They've been in the IndyCar Series for a long time. Nathan is a long-time owner. Be a pretty big deal if Brennan Wilmington were to miss the show in that 98 machine.
No, it would be quite a big deal. I mean, it's not look. It didn't look. It's been a weird session. I mean, Olvera went out there quickly, and everyone's gone slower than Olvera since. So we'll see what Brennan Wilmington can do here in this NS Racing machine. 223, 224, 225. A little slower heading into the corner. Maybe that's going to work out in his favor. We'll see.
Got to carry that speed through 3 and 4, as we saw yesterday. And he's carrying the speed a little bit better than Dylan Mathews did. We'll see if there's enough speed across the line to beat Olvera's time. That was a 5.84. that Brennan Wilmington has to beat. He's going to go 6.17. That's going to split Smanio and Mathews, so that's going to be right on the line once we get down to it there for Brennan Wilmington and NS Racing. So far, both the BO racing cars looking pretty quick here in the last 9 shootout. And here's the other Evans-Ross Racing car. The first one that went out is currently the slowest. Dylan Mathews at a 40.633. Avery Alford needs to beat a 40.599 to lock a spot into the Indianapolis 250. Alford looking to attempt his third Indianapolis 250. He was best at 7th in 2023 2 years ago. And another one of our winners from this season as well, Avery Alford. So both Avery Alford and Dylan Mathews race winners this season in the Haas IndyCar Series. Struggling yesterday, and we'll see if the struggles continue for Evans-Ross Racing here in the last 9 shootout. It's not looking good for Dylan Mathews right now. He's got that 40.633. And we got Stuart Gratton in the booth now as well. And of course, as we mentioned at the top of the show, this track is faster today. It is cloudy. It is a cooler track, and these speeds are faster than they were yesterday. So someone like Avery Alford trying to make his way in, what does that difference in speed do in comparison to yesterday in trying to make your way into the Indianapolis 250?
Means there's more onus on the drivers to make sure that they're attacking the corners, at full tilt. You've got more grip on the track. You can go faster speeds. Look at that, he's 225, 226 in the turn 3. So, I mean, we'll see what kind of time he can put in, but there's more onus because there's more grip on the track.
That's a good turn 4.
We'll see.
It was a good turn 4. Turn 4 has been the mark all weekend long in these qualifying sessions. It might help Alford out. It will not. 6.39. That is the slowest time so far. He did not have a good 1 and 2 and turn 3. He had a good 4, but it was not enough to carry him all the way, and that is the slowest time so far here in the last 9 shootout. Gustavo Smanio is now locked in to the Indianapolis 250. Brad Stover, next driver in line, driving for Dog Pound Incorporated, driving the ride that won this race 2 years ago. His third attempt at the Indianapolis 250, best finish of 27th last year. Needs to beat a 40.617 in order to race his way in to the Indianapolis 250. Not a good lap time for Avery Alford, 6.39, but these times are separated by 0.05 of a second right now. And Stuart, it is tight out there. One mistake could definitely send you packing up and leaving Indianapolis. For this Indianapolis 250. So if you're Brad Stover, any of these guys and these next 4 drivers, what do you need to do to make sure you do not make that mistake and get yourself into the show?
Well, one thing that we haven't really touched on really all week is the importance of the warm-up lap and that runoff of turn 4. You see, he got to 225. It wasn't great through there. So, see 214 through turn 2. It just couldn't quite maintain the speed there into turn 1 as much as he would have hoped. And we'll see what happens here with the 81, but not looking great at the moment.
Yeah, this is not looking good at all for Brad Stover. This looks like one of our slower times so far of the day, which is good news for Brennan Wilmington and NS Racing. And Brennan Wilmington, I know he'd love to make this show, and I know NS Racing would love to have all 3 of their cars in, and it looks like that's going to be the case. I think this might be our slowest time so far across the line. 8.51, and that was just what I was saying. You can't make a mistake, and there was a mistake there going to the turn 1 for Brad, and that's 2 tenths right there on the rest of the field. And Brad Stover's going to go 33rd. Brennan Wilmington is in the Indianapolis 250. And our next driver in line here, Bibi Ruiz in the number 33 for Dutch Atlantis Racing. And Ruiz trying to make his first ever Indianapolis 250. Driving the ride that won the race last year as well. But as we have seen, these times have progressively gotten slower throughout this session here in this last 9 shootout. And if that ends up being the case, that's good news for Dylan Mathews and Avery Alford, but not good news for Bibi Ruiz, Audra Baranauskas, Noah Clifton, who are next in line. There was a lot of speed going in the turn 1 there for Ruiz. We got Nathan Stapleton in the booth here. Nathan, I know you're happy that Brennan made it in. But now for these last 3 drivers, what are they thinking here, knowing that they have an opportunity of racing their way in, needing to beat that 46.33 right here?
Well, like I said, I'm happy that Brennan made it, but these last 3 drivers, they have to really think about, hey, the times are going slower and slower. I don't want to go slower, because that would mean that I don't make it in. So they just have to keep on going faster and faster here for the final 3.
Well, Bibi Ruiz is not going slower. This has been an excellent time for Bibi Ruiz in the ride that won this race last year, and it looks like Ruiz will be in his first ever Indianapolis 250. That is the fastest time so far here in the last 9 shootout. Bibi Ruiz goes 45.75, and that is good enough to lock Bibi Ruiz into the Indianapolis 250. Unfortunately, that confirms that Brad Stover will fail to qualify for this year's running of the Indy 250. Audra Baranauskas, 2-time Indianapolis 250 champion, defending winner of the Indianapolis 250 as well, got this race victory a year ago, and now here she is in the last 9 shootout. And Nathan, this is definitely not what you want as a defending winner of this race. She has to beat a 46.33 to make it in, but what is going through Audra's mind right now, knowing she's the defending winner of this race, and she might not even make the race this year in that one machine?
It's a very stressful feeling, and not a feeling that you want, knowing that Fitzwater won last year's event. But the bright side, we know this car should have the pace, but we just have to wait and see what Audra Baranauskas can do. This has been one of the biggest stories of the day so far in the Fast 9, or in the
whoa, that was some good speed there in turn 1.
Whoa.
She's locked in. Well, not officially, but,
you know,
that's not what I meant when I said that. You know, the other locked in. Well, she's trying to lock in here. Gonna hit 226 there. Trying to get as much speed as she can there through turn 3. That's some good speed right there for that one machine. And turn 4, the money turn. This is it. Yeah, she's got it. So Audra Baranauskas, you know, we thought for a second that our defending champion might not be in. It'll be deep in the field for her, but she will be running on Saturday. That's the fastest time so far, 40.535, and now I can officially say she is locked in to the 12th annual Indianapolis 250. Avery Alford has unfortunately failed to qualify for this year's race. Alright, it'll either be Noah Clifton or Dylan Mathews missing this Indianapolis 250. Avery Alford and Brad Stover have failed to qualify. Noah Clifton needs to beat a 40.633, and he is in the 12th running of the Indianapolis 250. This is a driver who has been in this race for many years. This will be his 9th attempt and his 9th start in this race if he can get this 55 machine for Tracoan Racing Enterprises in. Matt, I know this is a big moment for Noah Clifton, the guy who drove for you in the Truck Series. What does he need to do here to lock himself into the Indianapolis 250?
Well, this is the biggest lap of Clifton's season, to step up to the plate here, to have a shot to qualify for the Indy 250. A decent warm-up so far. Not looking great, not looking terrible. 223, 224 down into the first corner. He's holding okay speed through 1 into turn 2. Let's see how he comes off of this corner. Does he have his Kyle Kaiser, Jack Harvey moment in him here to bump his way into the Indy 250?
We'll have to see if he has the speed going in the turn number 3. Of course, he has a good turn 3 and turn 4, which that's a good turn 3. 217's a lot of speed from what we've seen today. Gonna hit 215. That's some good speed in turn 4. I think this should be good enough for Noah Clifton to race his way in to the 12th running of the Indianapolis 250. Across the line, 45.82. Clifton is in. And unfortunately, it'll be Dylan Mathews, Avery Alford, and Brad Stover who fail to qualify for this year's Indianapolis 250. Well, there you have it for the last 9 shootout, and that went almost in a way how we expected. We would expect drivers like Baranauskas and Clifton and Olvera, drivers who have been in this race many times, to race their way in, and they did. We expect the car that won this race last year to make it, and it did. And kudos to Gustavo Smanio, Indy 250 only driver, racing his way in. And Brennan Wilmington, Nathan, I mean, he made it in early on in the session, but who knew he'd be 33rd? But he's in the show there for NS Racing. But the big story really is Evans Ross Racing, both of her cars out of this Indianapolis 250. Dylan Mathews and Avery Alford both failing to qualify, and then Brad Stover, unfortunately, in the 81 there for Dogpan Incorporated. And guys, that was a very intense session. And Stuart, you were talking about how the speeds win. It was almost like if you carried too much speed going into the corner, you lost it going in. That's what happened to some of those guys, Brad Stover, Dylan Mathews especially. And that is what ultimately hurt them in this last night shootout.
Yeah, absolutely. You can see with Stover's lap in particular, he lost a heap of ground in the turns. And as a result, he's a long way off even the 93, 2/10 in. It's definitely the outlier of the group there. But I mean, looking at Clifton's lap, I mean, he didn't have the greatest straight line speed, but he had so much speed through the corners, all 4 corners really, and he ended up 3rd fastest out of the drivers in this session. So that's something that we got to keep in mind here going into the Fast 9, and we'll see what happens there. But obviously frustrating for the 3 drivers out, and particularly for Everts Ross Racing, with both of their cars missing out on this event.
Mm-hmm. And it's going to be a very interesting race now, with guys like Baranauskas and Clifton starting deep in the field, our defending winner starting 28th. And Nathan, if you're that far back in the field, what can you do to work your way up? We've seen in past years in this race specifically how difficult it is to work your way from the back to the front. It has been a track position race more and more over the years. So does Baranauskas have a shot at her 3rd Indy 250 on Saturday?
Well, this is the Brickyard. This is the greatest racetrack in the world, and it might be a more of a track position race than years past, but it's still the same length as it has been for a really long time. It's 100 laps around this place, and it can get wild sometimes. And if there's a couple of accidents, make it through, get some strategy involved. I think anyone that made it through the last night shootout could easily have a shot still. But I think track position's gonna matter. But some of the big names in the back, like Baranauskas, Clifton, Olvera, and even the 60 as a Indy 250 only driver, and even Brennan Wilmington starting dead last. Everyone has a shot, and it can get wild here next Saturday for the Indy 250.
It definitely will. We're excited for it. And Matt, I know that you are excited for your 2 drivers who are going to be in the show, but I know you're also excited for this Fast 9 shootout. So after what we saw here in the last 9, how do you think this Fast 9 shootout's going to go? And do you have a prediction maybe on who might win this Indy 250 poll?
Yeah, this pole shootout's about to get quite interesting. Obviously, 8 of these 9 cars were separated by a 1/10 of a second. So if that's any indication, I mean, this is going to be very, 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 very close with some very slim margins. So it should be quite exciting here. I mean, we saw Fitzy and Alonso put down some heaters yesterday. Can they run it back? Does somebody else have it at them? We're going to find out here.
Mm-hmm. Before we find out, and back in the day, we used to always advertise the shootout that took place in North Wilkesboro, but I don't have any advertisement or anything for this race, but it's coming on Thursday night. And Nathan, we're really excited for it. The Little 250 at Anderson Speedway. Tell us a little bit about what's going on Thursday night before the Indianapolis 250.
Well, for the first time ever, we are racing at the Anderson Speedway, a tiny short track in Indiana, and that's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a full night of action in that one, and it's going to be 250 laps around that quarter-mile racetrack in Anderson Speedway. 44 of the best drivers and late models, and it's going to be a lot of fun. 4 heat races, 2 LCQs, got a consolation race for the winner. We'll get a guaranteed spot into next year's race, and then of course the main 250 laps in the Little 250 presented by Gamebridge. It's going to be a lot of fun, something I've never done before, and I figured why not add it to the Indy 250 festivities, and it's going to be a lot of fun tomorrow night at Anderson Speedway.
Thursday night. Not
Thursday
tomorrow.
night, yeah.
Thursday night, this coming Thursday. Hey, I'm excited for it because I got Benny Watson in that race. And I'm pretty sure both of you guys, too, Stuart and Matt, have a driver in that as well, if I'm not mistaken. Am I correct about that?
Yes.
That's correct.
Yeah, you're going to see some GRT action in that race, too. It's going to be a lot of fun on Thursday night, leading up, of course, to the Coke 600 on Friday night in the Wall Cup Series, and then the Indianapolis 250 here from Indianapolis on Saturday. All right, let's get to it. Let's see who wins the poll. This is the fun part of the day. Of course, we always save the best for last. The fastest 9 from yesterday going after it, and the fastest time wins the poll for the 12th running of the Indianapolis 250. Nicolas Samudio, the first driver out here. Let's get to it here for the Fast 9 shootout.
Here we go for the Fast 9 for the Indianapolis 250. The fastest of these 9 drivers upcoming, of course, will start on the pole. for the Indianapolis 250, and every single one of these drivers wants to be on that, wants to lead the field to the green flag. And as someone who's got a little bit of bias in this one, I would like to see this car, lead the field to the green. This is Nicolas Samudio, the two-time Indianapolis 250 winner, 2018, 2020. He was the 9th fastest in yesterday's session, so he's the first car out in this session. And Matt, I mean, we've seen what happened in the last night. The conditions are the same. I mean, what are your expectations for this lap?
Well, I think it's going to be interesting to see. I mean, you got to sit there and watch 9 cars go out, so you get to learn a little bit here through turn number 1. It looks pretty decent so far here for Samudio. 216, 215. He's holding a lot of really good speed through the corner. Down the back straightaway. The one thing to note, we saw Dylan Mathews overcook turn 3, and it absolutely ruined her lap. So we'll see what Samudio does here, but this looks really strong so far.
Yeah, solid start here for Nicolas Samudio. 216 is able to hold 215 through turn 4. So this will be a pretty good first lap. As banker lap, the lap that everyone will judge. Crosses the start-finish line now. A 40.87. Not bad.
Yeah, that's only about 5/100ths off of Baranauskas' fastest lap, and historically in this Fast 9, they tend to go slower than they do in the last 9, so we'll see. But still, regardless of the fact, good lap there for Nicolas Samudio in the number 5 for Grattan Autosport. Chris Reynolds next in line here in the Fast 9 shootout, looking to win an Indianapolis 250 pole. And this is a driver who failed to qualify 3 years ago, so to be here on Sunday in the other session, it's definitely an honor for him. Driving for BO Racing, the only BO Racing car to be in the Fast 9. The other two were in the last 9. Both Olvera and Smanio advanced into the show, though they were kind of in the middle of the road there. We'll see how this 80 machine does here. And Matt, I know that 45.87 is kind of middle of the road from the last 9 shootout, but how do you think that time's going to hold up here as we move out through the Fast 9 shootout here?
Well, like you said, historically the trends say that this group goes slower than the last 9, so we'll see how it holds up here. Starting his lap for Chris Reynolds, 224, 217, 216. I have a feeling we're going to see all 9 of these cars separated by, at the most, 500ths of a second. I don't think we're going to see a big field spread, and we really would not have seen a big field spread if Brad Stewart didn't totally bin his lap. So, 225. I think this is going to be a good lap for Reynolds here.
Yeah, this is right around that same exact speed, though not as fast in turn 4. This is going to be slower, unfortunately. Turn 4 was the mark right there. That's going to hurt Reynolds in this lap. Across the line, it is going to be a 47.20, and he bended in turn 4. Well, he didn't fully bend it, of course, but he did kind of choke it there in turn 4, and that is our second slowest time overall today. But, hey, Chris Reynolds still in the show. I know he's happy about that. He's going to have a top 9 start regardless. So, Samudio still fastest here in the Fast 9 shootout. Our 2023 Haas IndyCar Series champion of Lona driving for Girani Racing. 3 career wins in the Haas IndyCar Series, looking for one of the bigger accolades in the series, though she is a past champion. Of course, winning the pole is definitely a big deal. And we'll see if Lona can, in fact, pull it off. Nathan, of course, it is very, very easy to mess up your lap, as we saw with Chris Reynolds and we saw with Brad Stover. So, how do you think Lona is going to do here in this 04 machine, trying to beat Nicolas Samudio's time for this pole position?
Well, we've seen it yesterday and we've seen it today. It does not really matter too much if you are slow in turn 1 or turn 2, as long as you're consistent in 1, 2, and 3. And turn 4 is the make or break spot.
Oh boy.
We'll see how this goes, but a good start. A really good start for Lona here.
And now with some serious speed there in the turn number 1 and even turn number 2, and Lona's on pace to be the fastest driver of the day so far. Will she have too much speed in the corner, though? 227 going into turn number 3. 216 is a minimum speed. We'll see what turn 4 is like. This has been the trouble spot for some drivers. She's holding a pretty good lap right here. 214. I hate to say it, Stuart. I don't think Samudio is going to win the pole this year. Lona with a really quick time in this 04 machine, and Lona's going to go to the top of the board with a 3.65. That's the fastest time we have seen all weekend long here in Indy 250 qualifying. Lona to the top of the board by 0.2 of a second. Our next driver in line, John Andrews in the number 79, Indy 250 veteran here in the number 79 for Rhode Island Motorsports. And we'll see how well he can do. He's had a great season here in the Haas IndyCar Series. Got that win in the opening race of the season at Auto Club. But we just saw an absolute heater out of Lona. And Caleb, you got to see the end of that right there. And I don't know, is anyone going to beat Lona's time after the fastest time set all weekend in these single car runs?
I think if anybody here in this Fast 9 can do it, it might be the 79 of John Andrews, like you said, and like I said yesterday during his lap in qualifying. He's had a great season up to this point so far. He's shown a lot of speed there behind the wheel of hers number 79 machine. Have to see how he does here during his lap here. Maybe we'll go for the pole. We'll have to see.
Gonna hit 225 into the corner, but it's that speed in turn one that really makes the difference. And Lona minimized it 218 in turn one. That's a 214 minimum for John Andrews right there. Gonna be 215, just a little bit. I don't think this is gonna be for the pole. Now keep in mind too, top 10 all get points towards the series, and they still want to qualify up front. And it's a long race too. And I think the fact that you will be starting top 9 for the Indy 250 is going to be a huge chance for all these guys to go to victory lane on Saturday. Very good turn 4 for John Andrews, but I don't think the first part of that lap is going to benefit him too much, and especially in comparison to Lona. This may be second quickest, not quite, 6.47. That is third overall so far here in the Fast 9 shootout there for John Andrews and the 79. And we're halfway now, once we get through Jeffery Finguy's time here for NS Racing. Nathan, this is your driver right here, looking to race his way to a pole position here in Indianapolis in his first ever Indy 250 start. But he's got a very tall task, beating a 43.65 set by Lona. I know you love to see it. This is an Indiana team. You're an Indiana guy, and you love to see NS Racing on the pole. Do you think he's got a shot here?
Well, I think he might have a shot, but does he really though? Because that was definitely the fastest time that we've seen all weekend long here with Lona. But like I said, I would love to see this happen for NS Racing. We've had struggle to see at this racetrack, but finally luck was on our side earlier today with Wilmington making it in. And let's see what this 96 can do.
That's pretty, it's not quite as fast as Lona right there, but it was faster than John Andrews in turn number 1. It hit 215 as a minimum off the exit of turn number 2 right here, and I don't know if we're going to see anyone get to Lona here today. We might. I mean, Zachary Fitzwater went ballistic yesterday in day 1, and he's still yet to go, but not a good turn 3 at all for Jeffery Finguy. That was 212 off the exit, and it's like, oh, wow, that's bad. That ain't good at all. He did not have the speed going in there, and this will actually probably be the slowest time so far in this Fast 9 shootout. But hey, don't worry, Nathan. He is still in the show, and he will still be starting top 9 regardless. 7.54, that is, in fact, the slowest time so far here in the Fast 9 shootout. And we're down to 4 drivers left here in the Fast 9 shootout. Max Anderson is next out for Webb Racing Enterprises, and of course another Indy 250 veteran, though he has never finished top 10 in this race. Though he will qualify top 10 this year, and he might have a shot at this pole position. Gotta beat that 3.65 set by Lona, which that looks like a very difficult time to beat at this point, but we'll see if that ends up being the case. And Max Anderson has been a long-time runner in this race. How do you think he's going to do here on this lap?
Well, he's definitely got, I mean, I feel like we're gunning for P2 at this point, unless somebody pulls off a lap of the gods here. I mean, Anderson is a veteran here. It would definitely be cool to see him get a shot here at the pole, get a shot at his first ever Indy 250 win. 225 into the corner, 216. It's not going to be a pole lap, unfortunately, but
couldn't hold the speed in the turn number 1 right there, and this is looking a little bit slower on that end of the racetrack, though he can regain some of it back if he can hold the line in 3 and 4, which is something that both Chris Reynolds and Jeffery Finguy could not do on their lap times. We'll see right here, he's going to be 216 in turn 3, which is pretty good, and we'll see if he can hold it there in turn number 4, 215. So this is going to be a faster time. It's not going to be Lona levels as fast, but Max Anderson's still going to have a good starting position for the Indianapolis 250 across the line for the 99. That's going to be a 5.93, which is right now 3rd quickest overall of the 6 drivers who have gone out in this Fast 9 shootout. So good lap out of Max Anderson, and he's going to have a good shot at winning on Saturday if he can keep that 99 up front in the Indianapolis 250. 3 drivers left. It's Justin Zajdel next out in line, and this is another driver who failed to qualify. Same year Chris Reynolds failed to qualify in 2022, and they are both here in this Fast 9 shootout here today. And I know Justin would love to win the pole for this race if he could do so. I know I'd love it too, but hey, it's an equal rating series. That's why I have my team in it. It's okay. I can assure you that it's equal ratings. I know they've done well, but hey, Justin Zajdel, John Ears, they've been around on this race for a long time. We'll see what the 75 can do here. And Caleb, we'll have to see what Justin can do, but a long-time veteran of this channel, and what would it mean for him to win this pole if he can, in fact, pull it off here in just a couple of laps?
Definitely wouldn't mean a lot for Justin to win the pole here, and that would definitely mean a lot to you as well if he could pull this off. Going into turn number 1 here, 225.
He's got a chance. He's got a chance.
Let's go!
Oh, we'll see how it ends up working here. 214 there in turn number 2. I don't know if that's going to quite be enough. It's going to come down to turns 3 and 4 right here. If he can just hold that 75 on that inside and have some good speed through these corners, he's going to have a shot. 217 as a minimum in turn 3. That's pretty good. Turn 4 is the money turn.
Oh, boy.
216, 215. This is going to be close. I don't think it's going to be enough, though. I don't think it's going to be enough, but it's going to be second. It's going to be second at this point. 40.446. That's still 8 100ths off of Lona, but still a great time out of Justin Zajdel, and he's going to be looking close to the front to start the Indianapolis 250 on Saturday. What a lap there to Justin Zajdel. 2 drivers left. Hierjel Alonso, his return to the Indianapolis 250 has been a good one for him. Last ran this race in 2021, and he's got a shot at winning the pole here for Dracoan Racing Enterprises, and he is a good enough driver to do so. We'll see if he can get that time at Lona set, 40.365. It's down to Alonso and Fitzwater, so it's either going to be Lona, Hierjel Alonso, or Zachary Fitzwater winning this pole for the Indy 250. And Nathan, these are tense moments, but almost in a good way, because you know Alonso's going to have a good time, but also know that it's going to be a hard task to beat that 365 that Lona set just a moment ago.
Oh yeah, these are the good tense moments, because you know that the worst can still for the Indy 250 is the 9th, and that's still a very, very good spot to be in. And a very good start, 2.6
that's
in
not going to
turn
do
1. But he's going to slow down in turn 1.
Yeah, that just, you have to hold that speed. Lona and Justin Zajdel both kept that 220 going into the apex at turn 1. And I think that's what is needed to win this pole here today. So we'll see if Fitzwater can do so. A lot of speed out of Alonso down the backstretch, but he really had to check it up going into the corner right there in turn number 3. Solid lap time, solid speed, I should say, through turn number 4. And this is probably going to be around that John Andrews time here overall. Still going to have a good shot at winning on Saturday, as he is going to provisionally be in the 5th position. 1 driver left. It's Zachary Fitzwater, 30-time winner on the channel. Will it be Fitzwater or will it be Lona winning the pole here for this Indianapolis 250? And here we go with Zachary Fitzwater in the number 52. And as always, thank you all for watching this last 9 and Fast 9 Shootout. It's always so much fun to do these, and it's been 2 years since I've done these. And I want to thank Caleb, of course, for doing it last year, but we are so back. It is great to be back here doing this, and looking forward to the race on Saturday. We're going to have Caleb and Murray Papiani in the booth, as always, and it's going to be a lot of fun seeing how this race goes down. And Caleb, of course, we got Lona with the fastest time, but regardless, all these guys are going to have a good starting position on Saturday. How do you think it's going to play out for some of these guys like Justin Zajdel, like Nicolas Samudio, who are guaranteed to start in the first 2 rows in the Indianapolis 250 on Saturday?
I think it's definitely going to give him a big advantage, because starting position is definitely a big advantage going into this race. Of course, you know, they'll want to spread out a little bit, and if you can start up there towards the front of the field, it'll set you up really nicely as the race goes along. And of course, if you're up towards the front, you'll have a shot at the win, although that's kind of common sense, I would say. But yeah, it's definitely good for all these guys starting up towards the front. Even some of our slowest guys in the last 9 are going to be starting up front and have a really good shot in the main race. But we'll just have to see how it all plays out. But it's going to be a lot of fun to see who all will be up front and who all might be fighting for the win.
And it's going to be fun to see if Zachary Fitzwater here in the number 52 can win this pole. It's a tall task, 40.365, but he was the fastest yesterday. We know that he is capable of putting this thing on the pole in that number 52 for Trackhouse Racing. Big question is, will he be able to do so here again today? He's got to get out there first, though, when he's taking his dandy old time getting out there, but maybe that's what you need to do, just warm the engine up enough to really get that speed going. We'll see what he can do as he is out on the racetrack. And Matt, Zachary Fitzwater has been a driver who has run for a long time. 30 career wins on the channel, though he has never won this race before. How big would it be if he were to win this pole and maybe even win on Saturday?
Well, obviously this pole would be quite big. Winning the race, obviously, though, is the big prize, and if he did that, I mean, that would shoot to the top of his career accomplishments here on the channel. So, but he's got 2.5 miles, 4 corners in front of him. The Bass Pro Shops Trackhouse Racing Porsche. Can Fitzy put it on the pole here? A lot of it's going to come down to this turn 1 speed and how much he can hold it through here.
Yeah, that's not going to cut it. That's not going to cut it.
No.
That's a shame, but Lona just went out there and took it from everybody here today. The 2023 champion of the series. And it looks like Lona is going to be your pole sitter for the 2025 Indianapolis 250. Zachary Fitzwater is still going to start in the top 9, though this is a little bit on the slower end of what we have seen so far in this Fast 9 shootout. But regardless of the fact, he's going to have a shot at winning this race. Samadio's going to be up there. Zajdel, Anderson, all these guys, John Ears, who have been in this race for so many years, are going to have a shot at winning on Saturday. It's a 7.68. That's the slowest time so far in this Fast 9 shootout, so Zachary Fitzwater will start 9th. Lona has won the pole for the 2025 Indianapolis 250. All right, that'll do it here from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway and the Fast 9 Shootout. Lona is your pole sitter for the 2025, the 12th running of the Indianapolis 250. So row number 1, it's Lona and Justin Zajdel. Row 2 sees Nicolas Samudio and Max Anderson. Row 3 sees Hierjel Alonso and John Andrews. Row 4 sees Chris Reynolds and Jeffery Finguy. Row 5 sees Zachary Fitzwater and Bradley Bradshaw. Row 6 will see Duncan Ward and Tanner Parton. Row 7 will see Max Davis and Emily York-Watson. Row 8 will see Jay Knapp and Aaron Abel. Row 9 will see Christian Vargas and Marcus Glitch. Row 10 will see Ludovic Charette and Anthony Hernandez. Row 11, will see Carson Miller and Logan Williams. Row 12 will see Angel Gutierrez and Ace Garcia. Row 13 will see Braden Perez and Bruno Diacomo. Row 14 will see Thomas Troxel and Audra Baranauskas. Row 15 will see Bibi Ruiz and Noah Clifton. Row 16 will see Angel Olvera and Gustavo Smanio. And the last qualifier, the 33rd spot, all by himself in row 17, will be Brennan Wilmington for NS Racing. And failing to qualify for the Indianapolis 250 will be Dylan Mathews, Avery Alford, and Brad Stover, though those 3 drivers will race on Friday in the Freedom 50. And Caleb, I know you're going to have the call on that one. We're very excited for the Freedom 50 on Carb Day. That's always such a fun race to do before the Indianapolis 250. But Caleb, what a run for the pole for Lona. She put down the lap of a lifetime right there, and she's going to be leading the field of the green flag on Saturday in this Indianapolis 250. What must that be feeling like for knowing that she is going to be starting first in the biggest race on the channel?
I know she's definitely probably happy about that lap, and honestly definitely kind of a return to form for Lona. That's definitely shades of an IndyCar Series champion right now. An absolute spectacular lap. Maybe even just about a perfect lap there out of the 04 of Lona. Don't know if it can get much better than that. Just a whole 10th clear of the next fastest car of Justin Zajdel, just about. But, yeah, she's definitely got to be feeling good about that lap and going into the Indianapolis 250. Man, that was an absolutely spectacular qualifying session as well. And, yeah, can't wait to see how all these guys do here in the main race.
It's going to be a lot of fun. Saturday at noon Eastern Time right here from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And Nathan, you got all 3 of your cars in, but for guys like Nicolas Samudio, Max Anderson, John Andrews, Justin Zajdel, veterans of this race starting up front, What are the odds you give those guys at having an opportunity at winning this Indianapolis 250?
Well, you mentioned it being more likely than not a track position race, and if that ends up being the case next Saturday, that is going to be crucial for the Fast 9 drivers. And honestly, I like this shot better than everyone else outside the top 9. But this race is always chaos. It's 100 laps for a reason, and it can get crazy. And you can start first, you can start 20th, you can start 33rd. And if the right scenario happens, you could win this historic race. And it's going to be a fun one, as always, for the 12th running on Saturday.
And Matt, I know you're going to be watching for your 2 drivers there, Logan Williams and Braden Perez, starting midway through the field. So do you give any of those guys starting deeper in the field an opportunity at winning on Saturday, considering how much of a track position race this has been the past few years?
Well, I think it all really comes down to how much chaos there is. Obviously, if you see a big accident and your guys are able to avoid it, it kind of opens some doors. But we will see how it plays out. Like you said, it's definitely a track position race, but with the way these races can sometimes play out too. We saw Audra Baranauskas once win the Indy 250, and she led for all of 1,500 feet in that race. So, anything we have seen, some of the craziest moments that we have ever seen in the history of the channel have happened in this race. So I wouldn't, as long as you have a car with 4 wheels and is up to speed at the end of this race, you never know what can happen here at Indy.
It's going to be a lot of fun on Saturday. We're looking forward to it. But hey, Indy 250 week rolls on, and we got content every single day leading up to the big race on Saturday. Tomorrow, we got the finale in the Body Armor Pro Series in-season tournament right here from Indianapolis, the Indy 100K and the Body Armor Pro Series. It's going to be a fun race. I'm excited to see who gets it done over there. On Tuesday, we got qualifying for the Freedom 50. You're going to hear Caleb's voice for that one. And, of course, Dylan Mathews, Avery Alford, and Brad Stover are going to be running in that race. But it's always a fun one once you get to the race. Wednesday, it's Sprint Series 9 in America from Charlotte. The Carolina 300, the longest race in the HERS Sprint Series. On Thursday, we got ourselves qualifying for the Coke 600 in the Wawa Cup Series. And then the Little 250, which is going to be a fun event on Thursday night. Friday is our traditional carb day. We got carb day practice at 11 a.m. for these guys in the Haas IndyCar Series. Then the Freedom 50 at noon. What a fantastic race that is every single year. And then later on that evening, it's the Coca-Cola 600 in the Wawa Cup Series, all leading up to the big race, the Indianapolis 250, noon Eastern Time, right here on HE the Channel, Saturday, May 24th. Thank you guys so much for watching here today from the Fast 9 Shootout and the Last 9 Shootout. Huge thanks to Stuart Gratton, Caleb Rose, Nathan Stapleton, and Matt Chuck for joining me here today. And we will see you guys on Saturday for the 12th running of 2025 Indianapolis 250. Congratulations to Lona for winning the pole for the Indy 250, and I will see you guys later.